I just got off the phone with the coroner. He's ruling Teller's death accidental.
Lightning? What about the scientists at the observatory? What do they have to say?
They also reported lightning last night. I talked to the DA. He has no idea how to begin building a case.
What about the tests I asked for?
The results came in 5 minutes ago.
And?
Nothing unusual was detected, Mulder. The electrolytes, the blood gas levels, brainwave activity, based on the science of all the data that's been gathered.
Karen Oswald is a perfectly normal, perfectly healthy kid. You believe that, Scully? Neither do I.
Blockbuster generates 20% of its revenues through late fees. My life.
Welcome, one and all, to episode 59 of Most Unwanted, an X-Files podcast. I'm Chex. The next voice you'll hear is of Luke Costin.
Hello.
He's got a bit of a cold this week.
Yeah, I'll have to make my apologies right now. I picked up something on the way back from Croatia and I felt terrible. I'm feeling better now, but you can probably hear in my voice I feel a bit groggy.
The after effects.
Yeah, so...
How was Croatia?
It was really good. That was a good segue.
Yeah, it's not bad, was it? It's almost like we planned it. But we didn't.
We didn't. You should know anything about us. We don't plan anything. It was really, really good.
It looked good from the pictures.
Yeah, I was expecting, I'll be honest, I was expecting a lot more work. It felt like there was some PowerPoint presentations I had to watch. There was have you ever heard of an unconference?
No.
It's basically, you have to organise topics to talk about and stuff like that, and then you just talk about it in tables and stuff. It was better than I thought, to be honest. I was expecting this this team building,
like a lecture.
Yeah, like team building faffing, you know what I mean? But it was alright actually. But literally, we just did Tuesday. We did stuff, Wednesday we did stuff on Thursday. The Tuesday and the Friday we did whatever we wanted.
Nice.
So yeah, it was quite good.
Got to see some of the city?
Yeah, I got to see a fair bit of it. On Friday I went to an island where they filmed, do you know the scenes in Carth?
Oh yeah.
In the second series. We went there and...
from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, from Game of Thrones.
For people who aren't Game of Thrones followers.
As soon as you start heading down to Dubrovnik, you might as well just call it King's Landing. It looks exactly like it. You know what I mean? They haven't changed it. Apart from adding fantastical elements to it, all the streets are exactly the same. It's breathtaking, to be honest. But it felt like if I'd have gone to Rome or something like that. But it was really nice. But yeah, anyway, this island we went to, it had something called the Path to Paradise. And we wanted to just go and tick off all the boxes on everywhere you can go on the island. We thought, we'll do that. We won't take that long. It's not a very big island. That was a mistake. None of us had the right shoes for it. It is honestly like a mountain hike.
Oh God!
It was it's hard. You can't really do this on an audio podcast, but it's literally like a next more than 90-degree climb.
Yeah.
When I got to it's 30 odd degrees, and we're scaling this hill. I mean, the view was nice, but as we were walking down, people kept asking us, "Is it worth it?" And we were like, "Depends. Do you want a picture?"
That's the thing.
If not, don't even start.
If you set up for it, if you know what you're getting yourself into, I suppose. But yeah, when those get caught up on you, then it can be
I saw people going up there in sandals, and I was like, "Oh, you've prepared even less than us." So
I went to Barcelona once. And me and my girlfriend usually have a set routine. Jem likes to have a sleep as soon as she gets somewhere to get over the sort of flight, tiredness. And I can't do that.
No,
Jem likes to just get ready for the night. I can't do that. I have to just sort of go out. So I always go for a walk. I always just go see the sights. Anyway, so the first day we were there, I go for a walk and I end up walking 3 hours down the beach. Forgetting that I've got to walk 3 hours back, right?
So you want to sleep as soon as you get there.
I'm usually all right, so I was fine. And then I walked this way, I walked back, absolutely loved it, saw all these amazing things, and I was fine. The next day we did a bit of sightseeing, and I had the biggest blister on my foot. And like halfway through, and Jen was getting annoyed at me because I was just like walking so slow. And like, honestly, I walked across the road and it hurt that much. I just grabbed one of the lampposts, and I'm not even kidding, a tear fell down my cheek. A tear fell down my cheek because of how much pain I was in. And I just said, Jem, I can't do this. I can't do this. And we sat down for about an hour. It was the most horrendous pain. Honestly, I literally wept in pain. It was that bad. So, yeah.
There you go. A moral of the story, don't walk. Don't walk.
No. Just get suitable footwear. That's all you got to do.
That's a good point, yeah.
I never go anywhere. I don't care how you look or how fashionable it is. Just a nice pair of walking trainers. Yeah. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
You know the ones with the rubber soles?
I was about to say, you need to make sure you've got to get the right footwear, because, you never know when lightning could strike.
So this week we'll be looking at Season 3, Episode 3. Still feels weird to say Season 3.
I know.
I can't believe we're in Season 3 already.
So far.
So we have come so far. This originally aired on October the 6th, 1995. Written by Howard Gordon, an old faithful. And directed by Kim Manners. Should we get straight into it?
Might as well.
And it's also called D.P.O.
Probably.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah. So we'll let you guess.
I had no idea what D.P.O. meant.
Well, you'll find out.
I'm not going to lie. Just as we sat down to record this podcast, I said to Luke, what does D.P.O. mean? And he had to explain it to me. I was like, oh, yeah, I get it. Because the problem is, as soon as I watch the episode, I forget the title. Do you know what I mean? I'm not thinking of the title when I'm watching it, so...
I think that's with a load of stuff, though. Like, you'd be hard-pressed to remember any of, like, Game of Thrones episode titles.
The funny thing is with Game of Thrones, in the last season, they purposely didn't release the titles of the episodes before the world had seen it. So if you was on the west coast of America, you would just be watching an episode titled Episode 1 or Episode 2, and it was to avoid spoilers. And it just seems like such an extreme method, considering literally 2 seconds after I put the episode on, I'm not thinking about the title. Yeah. So, you know what I mean?
And also, the episode titles didn't really give anything away.
Well, it's not like they said so-and-so died. That's, you know what I mean? Like, the death of...
I heard the best one. It was on another podcast I was listening to, and they were talking about Star Wars Episode 1.
Yeah.
And he said he was so excited to watch Star Wars, the first Star Wars that had come out since, what was it? The Return of the Jedi, like 80. Anyway, and so he bought the soundtrack, and he was like, I can't wait to listen to the soundtrack. Look through the track listings, and the last one was spoilers for Star Wars Phantom Menace, if you've never watched it. The last track was Qui-Gon's funeral, and he was like, oh okay. So that's very
amazing. Oh,
anyway,
God. I love it.
Tangent straight off before we've even started the rundown.
Honestly, it's getting worse and worse. So let's get straight into it.
Yeah.
We start off at a video arcade.
I was loving this straight from the off. I was like, yes.
We don't have these.
We
don't have the proper video arcades.
Yeah, I mean,
we have. I'll tell you what the closest we have at the bowling alley.
Yeah, where we
have like 3 or 4. I downplay it. It's about 8 or 9 arcade machines, but we don't really have anything like this.
Do you know what? They've recently opened one I say recently, I don't know how recent, it might have been quite a few years ago, but there's one in, I think it's Manchester or Brighton, one or two.
Completely opposite ends of the spectrum there, but okay.
But those two are jumping out at me. It's an arcade, and basically you pay an entrance fee, but all of the games are free. So you basically just pay in.
Amazing.
And it's all like some old school ones and then some like newer ones. But yeah, you pay in and then just go mental basically, play as much as you want, which I'd love to go to.
Yeah, that sounds like amazing. I'd love to go to somewhere like this.
Yeah. A proper arcade.
Yeah. It always reminds me of one, Stranger Things, just like the sort of the environment. And it also reminds me of San Junipero from Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Which I watched, again, another tangent, I watched again last week. That is like the perfect hour of television.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal episode. It's just so good.
Hey, I was playing that.
You got a problem?
No, maybe you didn't hear me right. I said it was my game.
It's his game. Man, I'd step aside if I were you.
All right. You guys want to play a game? We'll play a game.
Oh, man, you shouldn't have done that.
Okay, so I've set the scene.
Yeah.
We're at a video arcade, and a pizza boy, basically, named Jack Hammond, he's playing a game of Virtua Fighter 2.
Yeah.
We see who we later find out to be Darren Oswald.
Mm-hmm.
He comes back, he says, I was playing that game, I've just come back, I want to play this game. And Jack's not having any of it. He's like, he basically turns around and says, no, you're not having it. I'm with Jack.
Yeah.
If you walk away from the machine,
That's it. You're done.
you don't. Unfortunately, you can't hold it.
Mm.
But then again, I don't have superpowers. So.
Yeah.
They end up getting into a little bit of a fight, and Jack shoves Darren onto the machine, sort of knocking him over. Mm-hmm. I forgot to mention Darren's friend, Zero.
Zero, yeah, that's his nickname.
His nickname, yeah. Zero, who is Jack Black.
Yeah.
The skinniest, youngest Jack Black I've ever seen.
This must be his earliest role, or definitely one of the earliest role I've ever seen him in, because he's so young.
I know, it's
so
crazy.
Young,
it is crazy.
95, how long? Tenacious D was 4 years away, wasn't it, or something like that? I think he started
more than that, surely.
I'm sure he started Tenacious D in 99. Or,
really?
Yeah, or 2000.
It's crazy.
But
yeah, I forgot to mention Darren is I don't know what his name is.
I just know him as Phoebe's brother, and the evil guy from Ted as well. my favourite film.
What's some reference points there?
It's not my favourite film. That's an inside joke. I shouldn't do the.
So, long story short, they get into it a little bit, and then some weird stuff starts happening. The lights go off, music starts playing. You can tell at this point Jack's getting a little bit freaked out, so he goes to walk away. Gets into his car, turns the radio on, the same song's playing, he can't turn it off. The engine starts flaring up, and the lights start flickering like the street lamps. And all of a sudden, he just starts, I don't know, just dies.
Yeah, he starts fitting on...
Yeah.
I was watching this, on my lunch at work, on my, work computer, and I realised how weird of a scene that was. As he starts vibrating, I'm like, I hope no one sees this, because out of context, this just looks strange.
Especially with Darren just watching on, just stalking him from the window because he's just watching.
Yeah.
And he's basically he just dies there. I thought it was a really good start. I loved it. Seemed like a different style of opening. I liked the way you had the sort of soundtrack, and it was I don't know, it just felt different to me.
Yeah, it felt they were definitely trying to place it in, obviously, they're not thinking of placing it in the era. But, do you know, how they do it,
they do it a lot now.
You know, Captain Marvel, they, tried to specifically wedge it into, 95, which is, funnily enough, the same year. But, this is doing it at the time, but it's so, iconic of everything, the arcades, and I'll mention it. I'll just mention it now. Later on when they're walking through the arcades, you can hear all the arcade sounds, and it's all these
Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff like
all
that.
these Sega games, and you're like, oh, this is that, and it's this would have been in 95. It's
which is quite strange, because what they've done, I assume by accident, is exactly what every director is trying to do now.
Yeah.
Ever since James Gunn did it with Guardians of the Galaxy, it's been so overplayed, which is just force this era down your throat through music and sound effects.
Yeah.
It's been so overplayed, and it's just weird to see it done, but it wasn't intentional. I don't think it was intentionally
that's
done.
The thing. It's just a product of the time and the era. Like I say, it's got all this alternative 90s music, because it's Filter. I think they are. I've never been a big fan or anything like that, but they're recognisable from that era, and all the games are recognisable of the era and that. So.
Yeah, definitely. But good intro, I thought. Yeah. So, after the titles, we see Scully, and she's examining Hammond's body. Basically, she gets into a big to-do with the coroner, because the coroner is basically saying he's been electrocuted by lightning, and she says, well, I can't find an entry point. She has got his heart in her hand, and it's like black.
As I mentioned, I was watching this at work. I was also eating my lunch. I was there biting into my sandwich as he holds up the blackened heart, and I was like, oh, this is a wrong call.
It's basically been burnt to a crisp.
Yeah.
And
burnt to a sizzle.
Exactly. But there's no entry point in the body. It doesn't look like it looks like he's been electrocuted from inside. And so they get into a bit of a to-do where basically the coroner doesn't like his work being questioned, and neither does John Teller, the sheriff, who comes in immediately on the defensive.
Yeah, he's just unlikable from the off, and then throughout the rest of the episode he just keeps making so many blunders, this guy.
But he's so insistent on this being electrocution, and there's no other I suppose you can't really fault him for it, because at the end of the day, what else could it be apart from going paranormal?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very strange. So yeah, we find out from the sheriff that this is actually the first, and well, not the first, the latest in a string of electrocutions across the same city. And Mulder does mention that there's like 60 in the world every year, deaths from electrocutions. He finds it a little bit weird that five of them are from this city.
Yeah.
But the best he can come up with is it's improbable, but that's what's happened. Which, to be fair, it's not a bad position to be in.
At the end of the day, all the evidence seems to point to, it's a really, really improbable freak accident, but that's all they can point it to.
Yeah, and he does go on to explain that there is a nearby lightning observatory as well. Which has ionized rods designed specifically to stimulate lightning, which is what he explains that's why there's more than the usual amount of lightning in the area.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like if there's 5 deaths within a few months,
take them down.
Yeah, you would like at some point someone would have to go, well, maybe we shouldn't have this place so close to the city then.
Yeah.
If they honestly believe it's lightning that's killing people, you know what I mean? Not just people, cows, we later find out.
Yeah.
But we end the scene with Mulder wondering, very rightly so, why the lightning only strikes 17 to 21-year-old males.
Yeah.
So they go to the shop where they found the body.
The like video arcade.
Yeah, the video arcade. And as basically they're walking around, they ask a few questions. The car's still there; it's being towed away. And so they go and ask Zero in the shop, who's a terrible liar.
Yeah,
he's just like awful.
I found this quite funny, just because recently Jack Black's gone into doing his own video games channel.
Yeah.
And one of his big hit videos was him in an arcade doing, I think he was doing like the dance mat or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And it's like, he probably started his career and now he's ending his career in arcades.
It is a little nice beginning to end moment, isn't it?
Jablinski comes full circle.
So yeah, they're asking Zero, he's being sort of evasive, being a little bit awkward about it, telling them one thing, and then as soon as they sort of say, well, you was here, you must have seen it happen, and he's like, oh, that guy!
Yeah.
Not the best liar. But he does tell them that he spent most of his night playing Virtua Fighter 2, and he actually shows him to the video game.
Do you think that Sega paid them for this, or do you reckon they just did it and Sega's like, cool, it was free publicity?
I think there's too many sound effects for it to be free. Or not purposeful.
Yeah.
Unless it's a love letter to Sega.
Maybe.
Or, you know what I mean? Like a love letter to games in general, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But like they made very...
because all of the games that you recognise are all Sega games.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's,
And even to the point of lifting the camera up just so you could see the title of the Virtua Fighter 2, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But now I'm thinking of it, you don't see any of it. Is all Sega games, so yeah, it must be.
I think so, yeah. But again, it could be just a love letter.
Yeah,
you don't know. So yeah, anyway, at this game, Mulder puts 2 and 2 together and figures out that last night, high scores were set on the game, and all initialed by D.P.O. So they have a look through a list of the victims of the lightning strike, because there was one that survived, and the one that survived was called Darren Peter Oswald. And So, they know where to go next. They know who to interview. They head over there. Quick interval.
Okay.
Did you used to do your 3 initials when you...
See, I was an idiot when I was a kid.
Oh, God.
I always forgot that I couldn't get more than 3 letters in.
So you put Look.
Look. L-U-K. Yeah.
See, I used to put Dan, but Dan's nice and easy.
Yeah, Dan's easy. I just put Look, yeah.
I never used to initial, yeah.
No. I guess that's what you meant to do, but yeah.
I think you meant to put dirty words on.
Yeah. I mean, everyone just put ass.
Yeah. I think that's the proper protocol.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. I think if you ever smash a high score, you have to put... What's the best one? I mean, ass is a standard.
FUK?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I think that's like that's like the worst one.
Yeah.
You can do. You can't do any of the worst ones because they're all too long.
Yeah.
On that note.
if you have any dirty words that you'd put in arcade machines, let us know.
We're scraping the barrel now.
We demand it.
We demand it. So we cut now to Darren, and we find out that he's working at the Kiviat Auto. Is Kiviat how you pronounce it?
I feel like we're going to get grilled over this.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just go with Kiviat.
That's the way I wrote it down, and it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound familiar.
I watched it today, and now I'm like, I can't...
Mrs. Kiviat, I call it Miss
Kiviat.
No, is it Kiviat?
Kiviat, that's it, yeah.
It's Kiviat, isn't it?
Kiviat.
Oh, that was a close one.
Close one.
Oh, just let's have a wipe of the brow.
Yeah, nearly got cancelled there for mispronunciation.
So Darren is working at the Kiviat Auto Shop. Imagine if it is Kiviat. We're going, it's Kiviat! And Sharon Kiviat comes in, and he sort of nervously greets her. We find out that she's the wife of the garage owner, Frank Kiviat. She seems like pretty nervous around him. Like she doesn't seem to want to be there.
Yeah.
The insinuation is he's got a crush on her.
Yeah.
I think even at this point you sort of figure that out, don't you?
I don't think I've ever seen this guy. Is his name like the actor? It's Frank
I don't know
Giovanni, I think, or something like that. I'm sure I've got it later on. But he always plays a creepy character or a strange character in everything.
Apart from, do you remember Gone in 60 Seconds?
Is he in that?
Yeah, he plays Nick Cage's brother.
Of course he does.
You have Memphis Rain. Is it Memphis Rain?
Gone in 60 Seconds. It's such a weird film.
What a film that is. It's one of my favourites. You know, it's so bad, but it's amazing.
My favourite bit is where they make them all listen to Low Rider before he
goes.
So stupid. Let's go.
He's like shaking his hands. Yeah. Can we do a Gone in 60 Seconds podcast?
Yeah. What will we call it?
I don't know.
Taking 60 minutes.
I want to do that.
How many? This has been a long time coming because we've not done any fake podcast names for a while.
We haven't. I think we need to do side projects. I think we need to find the time to do side projects. Is what we need to do.
I was going to say, I don't know. We'll find it. We'll find it. Maybe one day. We'll just not do a series of X-Files and just do constantly just a new podcast.
Just every week. It's called something different.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway.
So Mulder and Scully turn up. They start asking questions. He's being evasive, but he's a lot better than Zero was. He's just sort of he's being cool about it, and he's just basically saying, "I don't know anything. When I'm in the game, is what basically he says."
Yeah. So.
It's they're all going well until Mulder's phone starts just burning up in his pocket, like smoke coming from his jacket. Throws it to the floor, and Darren leaves. Whilst Mulder and Scully just sort of exchange a look.
It was a bit weird.
It is a little bit weird, yeah.
A bit weird.
Not really. I couldn't really figure out what the power was at this point, because I imagined it had something to do with sort of... I didn't know whether it was just like telekinesis. Because you didn't see like the lightning at this point, did you? It was more like things turning on, and... I don't understand how electricity could make the car radio stick to the same song regardless of the station.
I feel like they played a bit fast and loose with the science in this one. But I feel like it's more of just trying to be like that blockbustery type of...
Yeah.
Like story, I guess.
We have to get back to Monster of the Week.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is a good episode to do that with.
Yeah.
So we now go to Darren's house, and we see his mom, and she's watching sort of like daytime TV.
It's like a Jerry Springer type of program.
Yeah. And Darren changed the channel with what I assume is his mind.
His electronesis.
It's his electronesis, yeah. And she turns it back. She just starts belittling him, like treating him like crap.
You can kind of see, like, don't get me wrong, he's not like innocent in all of this, but you can kind of see how he's started going down this path.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It looks like he's had a damaged childhood.
Yeah,
and like there's a reason for why he is.
Yeah,
she's just awful to him.
Yeah. It's a weird shot here as well, like where it's like right over her shoulder.
Yeah,
and she turns and it's like whoa, it's right in your face.
I think it's like meant to just sort of. Again, maybe I'm looking too far into this. Maybe I'm giving them like credit where it's not due. But I feel like for me, it looked like it was meant to be like that's the house. Like she's all encompassing. Like because it was just so centered on her, and she was like front and center, and it was like almost like felt like he was suffocated out the back. Do you know what I mean?
That's probably what it was.
Maybe that's what they was going for in this sort of sense of in this house, he doesn't get time to himself. He doesn't get to choose what's on the telly. He doesn't get sort of free will, you know what I mean? He's got this controlling mother, and that's why he always wants to get out. That's what I took from it anyway. But luckily for Darren, Zero turns up. Looks like it basically is safe haven. And Darren says he's angry at this point. He says he wants to go barbecue some cows. Or set up a barbecue.
Yeah.
And then Zero says, oh, not the cows.
Yeah. I found it initially. I thought, this is quite weird seeing Jack Black in a semi-serious role, and then he does something in a few seconds that completely makes me think, it's not that serious.
Yeah. So Darren goes to the top of this hill, calls up to I don't know whether it was God. I don't know but he was calling up to someone, and lightning strikes him as he just stands there. Jack Black's begging him not to do this, and just before the lightning hits, he runs down and throws himself down the hill and just tumbles.
Just comedy pratfalls down the hill. I was like, okay, it's just normal Jack Black.
After the lightning's finished, we see that Darren's okay, and they end up going home, and we see cows just being left on fire.
Yeah.
The only damage that's happened to Darren is basically he's smoking. That's all. You know, that's all
probably
he
his
is.
clothes, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why is his clothes not burn up? I don't know why my voice went so high with that question. I was so stunned.
I guess you wouldn't. What's it called now? It's upwards inflection, is it? When you ask a question, you get a higher thing. I don't know. So
is it?
Yeah. That was good. I like that. Thank you. I heard someone talk about it the other day. Like people were getting annoyed because apparently young people do it. I don't know.
I always associate it to isn't it like California?
Yeah.
But that's not. I don't think that's just for questions. It's like I'm not going to do it. I was going to do an accent, and I get myself into trouble.
Yeah.
But like it's that upward inflection at the end of every sentence.
Where
isn't
stuff
it?
sounds like it's a question.
Yeah,
like,
but it's not. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. What was I going to say? The cows are on fire. Oh no, we were talking about his clothes not being on fire. I guess they wouldn't set on fire because would it do that? I don't think it like causes heat.
It's insane. It is heat though, isn't it? Like because it can turn sand into glass.
Well, what do they say now? Like it's hotter than the surface of the sun, isn't it? The instant it hits, like
I'd imagine so. Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. Why did his clothes not on fire?
I don't know. Yeah, makes no sense.
Maybe it's too quick. I don't know.
Yeah, but then again, like people do get hit by lightning, and I don't think I've ever seen. Well, I've never seen anyone get hit by lightning, I suppose. I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws, yeah.
You just expect them to emerge just butt naked.
Yeah, exactly, like...
No eyebrow. What happened to your clothes, John? And your eyes? I don't know. Yeah.
We're going to have to do some experiments.
Bagsy, not me.
We'll go to a very tall hill with an umbrella.
Franklin, what's his name? Roosevelt. No, who was the guy?
Oh, you're going to make yourself look silly? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought it was Franklin Roosevelt, wasn't it? Who had the kite with the key on?
Oh, I don't know.
Thomas Jefferson, was he? No, I don't know. This is... just saying founding fathers now. I'll get one of them. One of them, sorry.
Who was the guy that made the telephone? Was that
Edison? He's Scottish.
Was it Edison?
No, not Edison.
Alexander Bell?
Alexander Bell, he's Scottish, yeah.
He's Scottish.
Oh my God.
My God, how many more do you want to go through?
I know Dean mentioned, so friend of the podcast, he's been on it as well.
Yeah.
Dean mentioned the once he hates listening to us try and work through American history, so I imagine that segment
he finds it so frustrating.
To be fair, there's nothing worse. Have you ever watched like a stream or something like that, of somebody playing a game or something like that, and they don't know what they're doing, and you know what to do?
It's frustrating.
You're just like, just do this! Just do this!
We say, as we're 5 minutes into, who flew a kite with a key?
Right. Let's.
I hope it's none of the above. I hope. Let the record show that I did not hazard a guess.
No, it's not Franklin Roosevelt. Definitely not.
Who was it?
Franklin Roosevelt was the president during the war, I think.
Okay. Didn't fly kites at that time?
No, I don't think. Well, I don't know. Zeppelins now. Completely.
Right, tell you what, Google this, Luke. Let's move on, because we need to move on. People are hating this. This is so frustrating.
I know. It's frustrating for me as well. Fly kite with key.
Fly kite with key. This is so long. You're going to have to cut some of this out.
Benjamin Franklin.
That's nothing. That's none of the ones you mentioned.
The second one was close. Thomas Jefferson.
It's not close.
He was a founding father. That's 1 of 4. I could have gone 1 in 4 chance. Not get it wrong. First one was a complete miss.
Oh, should we get back to the X-Files?
Yeah, probably should. I don't know if we're qualified on that either, but probably better.
The next morning, Teller, the sheriff, is at the field, and the dead cow's basically being dragged away.
Yeah.
And he shows the agent a fulgurite. I think that's how you say it again.
Yeah, that's interesting.
A place where lightning strikes sandy soil to form glass, basically. And declares their investigation over, that it can't be anything else. This is only possible when lightning strikes the ground.
His like insistence to pin it on lightning and say there's nothing else at play here reminded me of Hot Fuzz. Do you know how like they're always just like, oh, it's just an accident?
Yeah.
I know it's a completely different.
Maybe it's like a vengeance thing. Maybe like his father was killed by lightning. It's gotta be lightning.
He's pinning on lightning everything. He's taking lightning down.
The only problem is Mulder finds a footprint in this sort of glass like sand. So like someone must have stood there. And that's when he figures out. And they actually managed to get a lot of information from it. The fact that it's a military boot, the fact that it's 8.5 sizing. And she also finds traces of antifreeze, which leads them back to the auto shop.
Yeah.
We cut to Darren. He's on this country road, and he's playing a game where he's basically changing the colours of the traffic lights to try and cause an accident.
Yeah.
Keeps doing it. People are swerving out the way. They're not hitting each other, but you can tell that's what he's trying to do. And Zero shows up and tells them to stop. Tells them they should get out of there. I mean, he keeps saying all the way through, Zero's scared of the FBI. He's like, we're getting in too deep. We should get out of here. He even suggests going to Vegas and just sort of causing destruction in Vegas. To be fair, with his power, like you could get anything.
Yeah. I think it's that classic like, teenagers bored, they get like something to do, and then it goes too far. And in this case, it's way too far.
Well, especially when this obsession with the Cavey, Mrs. Cavey,
who settled on Cavey.
Yeah, I think this obsession with Mrs. Cavey as well comes into it, that he's got something to hang around for, and it's not healthy. But yeah, anyway, so they talk about sort of basically just cutting it all out and stopping. Darren says no, and then he actually ends up getting both traffic lights to go green, and there's an accident. And then it's like they both just sort of laugh it off. That was a good one, and then they just go. It was weird. Like even like Zero, who's like trying to be the sort of moral compass, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, that was cool." You know what I mean? It was.
I think it's like they always say, like, with teenagers and stuff, and we can say this as we've been teenagers.
I've not been a teenager.
Oh, yeah, straight to adulthood.
Yeah, I went from 10 to adulthood.
10 to 20.
A confusing time.
I think you have, like, a lack of empathy. Like, you do stuff that, like, later on in life you think, oh, that was terrible. Why did I do that? You know
I've got a few moments like that where nothing majorly bad.
Nothing bad, but, like, stuff that you think, oh, I feel bad for doing that now. It's usually stuff that, like, you'll say stuff to your, like, mum and dad and stuff, and then you go, that was shitty. You know what I mean?
Do you want to know one of mine?
Go on. Oh,
okay.
Checkley's reveal.
This is terrible. This is one of those stories that makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
When I think back about it, and I just, like, it breaks my heart almost. So, my sister used to have this Pluto plush, and she took it everywhere. So, like, every time we go on holiday, that was the one plush she'd take with her. Like, she loved it, like, slept with it every night, blah, blah. And I used to, when we used to play about and stuff like that, if ever she didn't do what I wanted to do, or, like, wasn't playing a game that I'd want to do, I'd grab Pluto by the neck and hold him up against the wall, like pretend to choke him, and she'd cry. and then I get what I want, and I look back and I'm just like, how horrific is that? That is just like the worst thing a human could do. Well, it's not the worst thing a human could do, but
it could go be worse than that.
It could be worse. But, like...
Yeah. You're a regular Joffrey, you are.
It's just horrendous though, wasn't it? Like, I just think back and I'm just like, what sort of sadistic person am I? Like, genuine crying, like, don't hurt him, and I'm there like, ha 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 ha. Do you think less of me after that?
No. I might as well share one of mine as well, I suppose.
Go on.
I remember the once I did something, I can't even remember what I did, but I got shouted at by my mom, and I was so angry that I went upstairs and I had like a computer desk with like a pull-out drawer. And on the inside of the pull-out drawer, I just wrote in pen, "Fuck you, Mom." But do you know what the worst thing is? I forgot about it completely for years. And then we were trying to get rid of it. No, she didn't see it, but I saw it. And then I've never had more of a panic. Like, I could have just said, I wrote this when I was like 14.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just I went back to that age and I was like, oh no, I'm going to get shouted at. I was 19 at the point. So then I'm there trying to like smash this up and like ruin it so I didn't get spotted. But yeah. I don't know if that's like something I feel bad about doing it, but it's just something daft.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, at this crossroad, this accident, Frank, who owns the auto shop, he comes to tow the cars. I forgot to mention that Mulder and Scully go to Darren's house and they find an 8.5 size shoe, and they also find the picture of his teacher.
And most importantly, Mulder finds a Playboy.
He does find a Playboy,
yeah.
And he knows exactly what issue it is as well.
Yeah, April is the coolest month.
I mean, like, it is a genuine thing that Mulder collects dirty magazines.
Yeah.
That is a genuine thing that happens.
Yeah,
it seems out of character, really, doesn't it?
Do you know what? These days,
that is not acceptable.
No, I mean, like, if a character did that, it would be like, in like a TV series, if you imagine like somebody collected, like they'd be seen as a weird character,
a sleazy guy.
Back in like the 90s, it was just like, oh, this character, you're over here, you know.
Yeah.
Like they sort of, you don't look down on it too much, but these days you'd sort of see it as way more seedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just weird how stuff's changed.
Frank is towing these cars. Well, he's about to, and he appears to have a heart attack in the middle of the road. But we do see Darren looking on from the sidelines, and so does Frank.
Yeah. It seems like he's showing off now.
Yeah, he's getting more sort of brazen with it, isn't he? The ambulance arrive, but the defibrillators aren't working. And all of a sudden, Frank just walks up.
Says Darren.
No, Darren just walks up to Frank, says to him, it's okay, I've seen the way they do in the movies, puts a hand on him, and revives him.
Yeah, jolts him back
to life. So I'm assuming he wants to be the hero in this story?
I don't even know, I don't know what he's trying to do here.
But all I thought was, like, you just give yourself away. Like, everyone's seen this happen, do you know what I mean? But again, I just don't think he's that smart either.
No.
I don't think he's a smart kid. I think that...
They mentioned that he failed school.
Yeah, so, I think he's just a bit of an idiot. Yeah. Later on at the community hospital, Frank's recuperating, and the agents basically learn what happened. They learn that Darren was also admitted there 5 months ago, after the lightning strike. And they find some test results from him that he has acute hypokalemia, which is an electrolyte imbalance of high sodium and low potassium. And the implication here being he can control the amount of electrolytes he has in his body, which means he can sort of channel electricity. That's the sort of pseudoscience of it all. Yeah. Bit wishy-washy, but I don't mind pseudoscience. It never bothers me.
With this episode, as I mentioned, I looked at it as like a blockbuster, as like, you don't need too much explanation, and to be honest, there's not much to sort of take away from it in terms of things to think about. It's just, this problem happens, they solve it, the end, that's sort of... But it's a well done story in the way that they do that, but it is quite simple, I guess.
Just in general, I don't mind pseudoscience, to be honest. Like, at the end of the day, it's a story. It's not meant to be like real life. Do you know what I mean? And pseudoscience goes some way to letting you get lost in that story. So I don't mind
as long as it fits in with like the like rules of their world that they've set up. Which, to be honest, with X-Files is quite loose. You know what I mean? Like weird stuff happens all the time. So as long as they've got a way to scientifically explain roughly, you go, okay, that works.
Set your own rules and then follow those rules. Anything past that, I don't mind. Look, perfect example is Back to the Future. Like, Back to the Future, how is time travel possible? Because of the flux capacitor. Sorted. That's all I need to know. You've got there. Set the rules up, what can and can't happen in time travel. Stick to those rules, sorted. I don't mind. That I can deal with that, because I can get lost in the story. Pseudoscience really doesn't bother me. And at least they try to explain it, and that makes it sort of makes sense. They do end up questioning Darren. They bring him into the station, hold him there for a little bit. He's not saying anything, but he does think that Zero has told him, basically, and ratted him out. So they have this conversation that they've got 72 hours to get a confession, but he's not giving us anything. And let's be honest, they've not got a lot of evidence to go on. The only thing they can think of doing is getting Mrs. Cavey to press harassment charges to keep him in there. So they go and visit her at the hospital. And she says that she's been afraid to, but when she's told that they can only hold him for 72 hours, she sort of decides to sort of cooperate to try and make sure that her and Frank are safe, because obviously she's seen what happened to Frank.
Yeah, basically.
But then they find out that he's been released. And it's, again, the Sheriff Teller.
It annoys me when they... What was his purpose of keeping...
His purpose was to get one up on the feds.
Yeah, I think he's just a big power play, but it's like, at the end of the day, your job is... I don't know why I'm getting annoyed, because it's not real. Your job's like to protect and serve, you know what I mean? Like, this just seems like he's doing it just for his own sort of ego.
Yeah.
So that annoys me.
I'm with you. There was no point in it, especially when... Quite frankly, it's a higher authority that's done this. Like, you should just leave that alone.
Yeah.
But he's decided that they don't have a case against him, and so they let him go.
Yeah.
Agents, rightfully so, rush to the hospital thinking Mrs. Cavey is going to be the first place he goes.
Yeah.
But they're wrong, because Darren stops the arcade first.
Yeah.
And Zero's there. He's packing up. He's just sort of looking after the shop at night. Is it a 24-hour thing? The arcades.
I always thought they closed, like, they late.
It was 12 o'clock when that happened, when the explosion happened.
True.
So,
unless he's, like, staying there after it. Maybe he let him in or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I always thought they, like, closed about, like, 11, maybe?
Yeah. I don't know.
But we're saying this, never been to one.
No, exactly. And he looks like he's closing up and just sort of turning everything off, but then as he does... One of the machines stays on, and then all the same thing happens as at the beginning. The music turns on. He knows what's happening, and he starts panicking. He leaves the shop, runs halfway across the sort of car park, and then a bolt of lightning, just bang, hits him in the back.
Yeah.
Change flies everywhere. I did love that scene.
The change, yeah.
The change just flying from his pocket.
Yeah.
Dead. Just killed straight out. And we cut up to Darren watching on from the roof.
That was the only part where I was like, that's a bit corny. Like, he was standing like Batman or something all the time.
How'd he get up there?
Yeah. Electric,
yeah.
What is it on?
I know what you're thinking of, the game. The
thing where he uses like
Infamous.
Yes, yeah. How does that work? I don't know.
I imagine it would work.
Do you reckon?
Like with static.
Maybe.
I like it's basically
hair goes up, so maybe
hair goes up, so I can fly. Great reasoning. Great reasoning. Just hold on to that kite with a key attached.
No, don't.
Thank you, Newton.
Maybe he's taking the piss.
So we get into the basically the implication is that I forgot to mention that all the while Zero is like saying, I didn't write you out, and he didn't. He's just unfortunately just friends with the wrong person in this whole story. So we get to the ending sort of scenes now. At the hospital, Mulder and Scully are trying to convince Sharon to go with them. And then the lights go out, the lift starts going up, really sort of going into horror story mode at this point.
It reminds me a bit of that. I've only seen trailers to it. Do you know that new film that's come out? Brightburn. Like the evil Superboy.
Oh yeah, I've heard of James Gunn again, isn't it? Yeah, I do want to see that.
That kind of like style of like somebody with powers, but like using it for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? I think he's the kid in that as well, so it's a similar kind of thing. But yeah, I literally saw that trailer like before I'd started watching this, and I was like,
there are definitely parallels. But it's not him. It's Zero. He's dragged his body all the way across the hospital, put him in a lift, and sent him up to send a message.
So, just as a wind
just to woo the girl. Like, what's he expecting to achieve with that? Yeah. But yeah, then he confronts them, and he asks. Scully's got a gun pointed on him because Mulder's gone to try and find him. Scully's got a gun pointed on him.
There was a cool like shot of like Mulder. He was going down like the stairs or the access stairs, and it was all just red because of all the dots. I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah, it was a good shot. Yeah. Scully, he turns up. Scully's got his gun trained in him. He's asking Sharon to sort of come with him, and Sharon decides to take it into her own hand, diffuse the situation, and she decides to go with him. And then there's this sort of kind of a heartbreaking scene when they leave. They're walking through the car park, and like. Darren's just, like, oblivious to the fact that he's kidnapped her. Like, he thinks they're running away together and, they're going to live happily ever after. He's telling her what cars they can nick.
He's asking her what she wants to do. He hasn't got a plan. He's just like, what do you want to do?
Yeah, he's just happy to, holding her hand as well. Yeah. But, like, they do show, and he's holding her hand. It's not the other way around. And, yeah, it's just like this sort of, in his head, I think he genuinely believes that, he's just got the girl. Like, he's been heroic and he's got the girl. So it just goes to show that he's not really...
He's not evil. He's just... Yeah, I think he's just, like we mentioned earlier, damaged. Yeah.
He's damaged.
Yeah.
As they're walking across, Teller eventually turns up, the sheriff. He tries to pull Darren over, but Darren gets mad because Sharon ends up running away at this opportunity. Yeah. Darren's just getting mad. He's saying it could give you everything. He kills Teller. Again, bolt of lightning straight from the sky. Bang. He's gone. He then chases Sharon, but Mulder drags her into the bush. Really, again, creepy a bit. Like Mulder's just hiding in this bush. Drags her in. I'm doing the actions here. I don't know if you can sense that in audio format.
You'll hear a waft.
And then they have this face-off with Darren.
Did you notice that when he was running after her, he ran over a puddle?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That makes sense now. Yeah, that's why he's like incapacitated.
Yeah. I saw him run over the puddle, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's him.
That's how they get him, yeah. Because
all the way through, I was like, how are they going to stop him apart from like just shooting him?
Yeah, I never thought about that. That's a good point. So yeah, he runs over this puddle, and he calls down the lightning, trying to kill Mulder, but the lightning hits him, and he's basically just knocked to the floor. Yeah. He's not dead, but he's knocked unconscious by the looks of it.
Yeah.
And we go to the final scene, Oklahoma State Psychiatric Hospital, and Scully's telling Mulder that the coroner has ruled Teller's death was accidental by a lightning strike. It's all staying the same. No one's going to admit anything else.
Yeah.
The DA can't even fathom how to prosecute this murder when everyone's sort of shut the door on it.
Yeah.
And we cut to Darren inside a cell as he stares blankly at a TV screen. And it looks like you just see like the TV screen changing channel. And Darren sort of blinking at that point. I think the insinuation is that he's still got his powers because it looks like he's changing the channel himself.
That's what it looks like, yeah. I like, there's two things at the ending here I liked with the song it was playing over. It was the same one that he had like a Vandals t-shirt on, and it was like the same one from that album. I was like, that's quite cool, like the tie-in to it. And also, the end credits just on the actual TV.
Yes,
right? It says,
that was really interesting.
Yeah, so simple, but it was just cool to see.
But again, the fact that the intro and stuff like that, and like the way they used music throughout the episode to sort of convey Darren's mood, I just thought it was a very unique episode in the sense of like it stood out from every other episode we've watched.
The tone of it was a bit different in terms. Well, the
direction,
the style,
the direction.
Yeah.
Have we seen any of Kim Manner's work before?
They've directed some. I think they directed the one, is it The Hand of Velect? I'm sure he directed that one as well.
I'm just wondering whether I can see any sort of similarities, but I can't. I can't think of any episode that's like this because it's just the way, the subtlety in the direction. But I really enjoyed it. But what did you think of the episode?
Yeah, I thought it was like a really solid, but as I mentioned, solid but simple Monster of the Week. I liked it because it was just like it was like an action film, like their version of a blockbuster. There weren't much of a talking point to come out of it. Like you can't like really go into what do you think that meant? It was quite straightforward. Yeah. But I think every now and again you just, especially after what we've just had, this heady like conspiracy story. Needed. Yeah, you just need a simple
Monster of the Week. That's what it's meant to be.
Yeah, exactly.
The one talking point I had from it was it just really made me want a supervillain team. With, the guy that had the flames coming out of his hands, the guy with the electric now. I just think, I don't know whether they might do it.
Team up.
Because at the end of the day, all these people, I mean, you could even have, no, Toombs is dead now, isn't he?
Toombs is dead.
But yeah, like, all these people are in prison and, like, they've just sort of stayed in prison and that's it. I think you're missing an opportunity if you don't have a big team up.
I don't know if it's the type of program that would do.
But I think it would work. It would work so well.
So what have we got? Our supervillain team that they've still got. So Toombs is dead. We could have Fluke Man because he was still alive.
Yeah.
Like,
would he work well in a team though?
Maybe not.
I don't think he's got like the sort of
so we got the Pyro Man, Electric Man.
Yeah.
What about?
I can't think of any others.
What about the guy who's just a murderer?
What? We're just going to hire all murderers to this team as well now.
Yeah,
we're scraping the barrel. Wait, it's all right. We don't have to have this team fully formed yet. Right. We've got like 8 seasons left to go.
Okay.
We've got to keep our eye out for new members of the team now. It's a shame because Toombs would have fit in perfectly.
Toombs, yeah. He's basically like an evil Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. We've got our Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
We've got our... What's the... Shazam? I don't know. Flash?
We're building our own unfantastic four.
I can't. Yeah, we need to keep our eyes out for the other two. Yeah. We need someone to turn invisible.
And we need a big brick.
A big brick, yeah, that's what we need.
The Thing is like, oh.
Luke's production note.
The genesis of this episode can be traced back to a note card reading Lightning Boy that series creator Chris Carter had tacked to a board in his office since the first season. Carter's idea had not developed much beyond that 2-word idea until the show's writers decided to approach the boy's powers as a metaphor for disenfranchised adolescents.
Yeah, I think we touched on that all the way through the episode. I do like the idea that Chris Carter is the same as every 12-year-old boy. Because everyone has that idea. Oh, I want to make a film. Well, I've got a film. Lightning Boy, Fire Boy, Ground Boy, Water Boy.
I literally made a comic book when I was a kid. The man was a lightning boy, basically.
Every kid has done that.
Right. So, my uncle gave me a name because I called him Blaster. He had like lightning powers. My uncle just added a D to the end, and I thought that was cool as fuck. Blasted. I was like, yes. It's like the most 90s, like edgy superhero. Anyway, that's copyright. No one can take that.
Yeah.
Blasted's mine.
Bending button.
But yeah. Right, anyway. Writer Howard Gordon described the episode's concept as Beavis and Butthead electrified. I could see the
I can see where it's trying to go. Yeah, it's two teenagers. That's the extent.
Basically, yeah. I think everyone thought they were Beavis and Butthead back in the day.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
D.P.O. followed a string of mythology episodes, which Gordon believed caused this episode to suffer conceptually. Then story editor. Now I've got to get this right because we've had some comments.
Okay.
Frank Spotnitz.
Yeah.
I believe it's pronounced. Is that correct?
I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know. I should probably check. Then story editor Frank Spotnitz claims that the writers initially thought about referencing the developments of these mythology episodes in D.P.O, but this plan was nixed due to Carter's desire to keep the mythology and the Monster of the Week episodes separate.
Okay. I can see that. And to be fair, I think we did need a bit of a break of the heavy sort of mythology episodes.
I think it is good to have that distance, and it also makes just recommending X-Files to someone easy. Yeah. Because you can just say to someone, "Oh, watch this episode," because it's not connected to the story. Like you could just start watching it.
I think it's definitely. I think there's no problem with doing it the other way, but I just think it's difficult over 24 episodes.
Yeah.
There are some. Don't get me wrong. There's some examples, but I just think it makes it more difficult.
Yeah. I did get his name completely wrong. I got one part of his name right. The guy Giovanni Ribisi. Is his name. Auditioned for the role of Darren.
Didn't you call him Frank Giovanni? Yeah. Wasn't Frank his name on Friends?
Yeah, it was. Oh, God. Never mind.
Oh, can everyone just write in to Luke and just tell him that he got that completely wrong, as well as the kites,
Spotnits, and the kites.
Yeah.
And anything else. Just tell me I'm wrong at everything, guys.
Hashtag Luke's wrong again. Hashtag Luke's wrong again.
Luke's are very wrong.
Let's get this trending.
Yeah, he auditioned for the role of Darren twice. During his first tryout, Carter was dissatisfied with his performance, but after casting director Rick Millican,
Oh no, not another one.
Championed his cause. You're gonna give me the worst anxiety. I'm just not gonna say anybody's name anymore. Championed his cause and secured him another audition. Chris Carter. Carter reconsidered his initial opinion.
I think it was a good casting. I really liked him as well. Yeah.
Spotnitz later described Ribisi's performance as really, really good. Man of many words.
That's high praise.
The name of the sheriff, Teller, was based off... Have a guess.
I don't know. I don't know any tellers.
You do.
Do I?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
A famous teller.
Not off the top of my head, I can't think of one. Go on.
The name of the... You're going to kick yourself.
Yeah, go on.
The name of the sheriff Teller was based off Teller from the illusion and comedy duo Penn and Teller.
Oh my god. Oh my god, yeah. You know why? Because I never see his name on his own. It's always Penn and Teller, isn't it? Oh god. Oh, that Teller. Oh, I'm an idiot.
I'm going to ISO that. The pair had wanted to appear on an episode of the show, but when conflicting schedules precluded this from happening, this reference was added instead. That'd have been cool, actually, if they'd have been in here.
That'd have been awesome. Do you think... I mean, there's plenty more seasons. I'm sure they could have done it next season.
Maybe. It seems to indicate that they aren't. With that seems quite final, but who knows. The Astrodorian Lightning Observatory is fictional and was named after Carter's executive assistant, Mary Astrodorian.
Oh, Cool name.
How can I get that name right, but I get Spotnitz wrong? Spotnitz! Darren Oswald was named after writer... Who wrote this? It was named after X-Files writer Darren Morgan.
Okay.
There you go.
A lot of references to like the stuff. It was really stroking their own egos in this episode, aren't they?
Special effects supervisor David Gauthier created a unique lightning machine for the episode. The device, concealed in the ground, used mirrors and special generators to create the effect of lightning striking. The device was very powerful, producing 2.9 million CD of luminous intensity. This is all just buzzwords.
Yeah, I've got no idea what that means.
and produced enough energy to singe the grass. To keep Ribisi out of harm's way, he stood on a raised platform which was hidden by special camera angles. The final effect was augmented by sparks and smoke.
Oh. That fact was shocking.
You sound like James Bond. A special anti-fire product was applied to the costumes of the characters hit by lightning. That's rubbish.
This is your own notes.
Yeah, I know. According to art director Graham Murray, that's rubbish. Just made myself laugh there. According to the art director Graham Murray, the scene in which Darren manipulated traffic lights required the construction of a special streetlights and a billboard which could then be manipulated by the crew. This turned out to be the biggest construction event for the art crew.
It's mad, isn't it, when something like that...
Something as simple that.
Yeah. They're having lightning hitting people, and that's the biggest challenge. It always blows my mind.
The farmhouse used for Darren's home, situated in Albion, British Columbia, had been used during the production of the movies Jennifer 8 and Jumanji.
Oh, okay.
I did not recognise it from
me
Jumanji.
neither.
There we go. We got two more, and I will be finished. There's a lot in this one. There's even more next week. I don't know how I know.
Keep the illusion going.
The producers had difficulty securing permission to use a dead cow in the episode due to concerns over animal rights groups. The art crew tried to create a faux dead cow, but it did not look real. Consequently, the producers reached out to a slaughterhouse and were able to use a real corpse. That's something you don't see too often these days, I don't find. Like, they tend to not use...
Yeah, I think showing, dead animal carcasses... Problem is, it really sparks a debate.
We better finish this one.
The problem is, when I get in that mood, I just can't stop. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna have to bring the mood down for this one.
Oh,
sorry.
God, okay, I'm sorry. There were jokes.
During the filming of this episode, director Kim Manner's best friend was killed. Due to the horrific nature of this turn of events, the production crew were willing to replace him with another director, but he insisted on completing the episode.
I feel like I shouldn't comment.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm too light-hearted for that part. That's nice that he stuck around.
Yeah.
I think... I'd probably do the same.
Yeah,
throw yourself into work.
You just have to, don't you? Times like that. But yeah, sorry, a bit of a somber note to end on there. But I'm sure Chex can gear us all back up now, get us all back into it with his new segment.
It's not a segment.
Daniel's Twitter Corner.
It's not a segment.
Welcome to Dan's Twitter Corner.
It's not a segment. This is not a segment. We're on my Twitter corner.
See, he's owning it.
We had a few people get in touch. I'm going to say text in Twitter corner. Text in.
We've really got back into the 95 mentality. You text your calls in. Text your calls in.
Text
Jesus
your calls
Christ.
in, guys.
Yeah.
Ray got in touch and said that was a fun discussion, guys. And
Which episode was that, by the way?
Sorry?
What episode was that about, by the way?
Well, I was just about to get to it before you interrupted me. And my own segments. The pilot episode of my own segments.
Alright, I'll reel that back in.
That was oh my God. That was a fun discussion, guys. Anasazi and Paperclip is a favourite of mine. On the questions about Mulder's name on the folder, which we brought up which was in the Paperclip, the implication, I think, that he was the first choice to be abducted, but you raised a good question about the vaccination records. We don't really know what else were in those folders to indicate they're abductees. I don't know. I'm confused. As are we all. That was it. I think we poked holes in that where maybe we should just take it at face value, and it is what it is. But yeah, maybe that's part of our job as analysing it is to poke those holes. But
maybe it'll get explained.
We also got another tweet from Kathy, and she's put, since you demand feedback, we do. Luke especially demands feedback. I like the fact that it was you that demanded feedback, so she's just gone hard on you.
No, yeah.
But it's pronounced Spotnits.
Yeah, I understand the error of my ways, and I am sorry.
And you've made so many more errors. Hashtag Luke's wrong again.
We need like a corrections part of the episode, don't we? Do you know is it edumacation that has the eduma corrections?
Yeah.
We need that to just correct all of the things we get wrong.
Double the length of the episode.
Yeah, if we say something that is clearly and factually wrong, let us know, and we'll.
Oh my God!
We'll bring it up.
You're opening up a world of hurt here.
I know. I'm a masochist.
So yeah, she goes on to say, small spoiler: he remains important for the original run and both movies, so you'll want to get that right. Kidding aside, I enjoy your take on this episode, and I'm looking forward to your reaction to the rest of season 3.
I just said, let us know if we get anything wrong.
Yeah.
You said I opened up a world of hurt.
Yeah.
I said I'm a masochist. That's already incorrect. No, it's not.
Oh God, you are falling apart. I didn't know what was going on.
A masochist is the person who hurts themselves.
Yeah,
I got it right. There we go. First, reel it back.
Okay, so now you've gone through your panic attack.
Yeah.
Can we respond to the tweet?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you for getting in touch.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do the rest of season 3 ourselves. Really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to it now that we're getting back into the Monster of the Week episodes as well, because they're always fun to do. I like the one-offs where you can just get into it.
Nice change of pace, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I believe next week is also a Monster of the Week.
Yes. Yeah.
So we've got that to look forward to. Mm-hmm. That'll be episode 60.
Yes, episode 60.
And it is titled, do you have the title?
Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose.
Oh, nice. Okay, so interesting title.
Bit of a strange title, I thought.
I've had a look at the title list for this season, and there's a lot of those where it's like, it's a strange one. I didn't expect that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it. But for now, I'm going to bid you all farewell. I'm assuming Luke is too.
No, I'm staying here.
Oh, okay.
To be fair, this is my house. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I'm going to leave you. What time are we at, Luke?
It's
roughly, because I know
5 to 10.
No, I mean I'm talking about the podcast.
Oh, okay. We're at
just roughly
1:13. It's probably be a bit longer for you guys,
with a bit of editing and stuff like that. So that's us done, and I'm going to leave you with another 1:13 of Luke's soothing tones as he tells you all about his favourite vegetables.
So I'm quite partial to corn.